Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. So, obviously, this is a little different than what we have been doing. I am outside because I wanted to do a little bit of a stretching kind of day. So, it's going to be about 15 minutes, give or take. And I still want it to be relaxation and meditation focused. So, what I want you to do is while you're doing these stretches and these poses with me, I want you to be thinking about that yoga meditative breathing we've been working on, that deep belly breathing where the belly expands as we inhale and then deflates as we exhale. If you're new to exercises like this is not quite yoga. However, I take from yoga and I just take some normal stretches from functional training, kind of put them together. So hopefully this will get your body feeling nice and loose, but you need a yoga mat. You don't need to do it outside. I am doing it outside because I think that it's good to get a little fresh air nice and early in the morning, and I will be doing these videos outside, weather permitting, every single week, okay? So I have my yoga mat on a towel. You can do whatever you'd like. If you'd like to just stretch on the grass, that's fine. Or if you're indoors, obviously, you can just do it on your yoga mat or carpet or whatever works for you, okay? So I'm going to stand at the top edge of my mat, and first I want you to just take some big, deep breaths with me, okay? So we're just going to take a big inhale in through the nose and out to namaste. Let's do that again. Big, deep inhale. Exhale to namaste. We're going to do that one more time, but you're going to hold it up at the top. So big inhale. Look up. Now exhale, swan dive all the way down towards your toes. Just see how this feels. Let your head hang. Shuffle your shoulders away from your ears. Now, with your hands down, we're going to bend our knees and curl up in a little tiny ball. Okay, you're in your ball. Now you're going to hike your hips up and stretch them to the ceiling. Again, down. And up. Now, if you can take your hands to the floor, take your hands to the floor. If you need to bend your knees, do whatever you need to touch the ground. You're then going to step your right foot all the way back behind you and then remove your hands to a high lunge position. So this is a very strong pose. Your right leg or your front leg is really grounding and stabilizing. Your right leg's back, your left leg's in front holding you. Your arms are down by your side. Chest is proud. Now, we're going to rotate our back heel, plant it, bring those arms all the way up. This is a yoga pose. It is warrior one. You'll notice my hips are square, my back is nice and upright, and we're only going to hold this briefly because we're going to make our way back to that high lunge position. So tilt your toes back, pressing into the ball of that back foot. Now take your hands to the ground again and roll over your toes in the back, planting that knee on the ground. If you can, release the hands again, this time getting a slight back bend, feeling a deep, deep stretch in that front hip. Breathing. And take the hands back to the floor, turn the back toes under, stand up for a second, and then bring those feet together with the head hanging. Now we're going to take a big inhale. Big exhale. All right, let's do that second side. Big inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Just hang out here for a moment. Now this time, before we switch sides, I want you to press into the floor and try to stretch your back. Now, you have to be pretty flexible in the hamstrings to be able to do that. So, if you can't touch the floor and stretch your back, slide your hands up to your shins and then press and create tension to create that straight tabletop position. So when I look at the floor, there's a straight line from here to here, okay? So we're going to collapse back down. Ooh, don't tip over like I just did. And let's do that flat back again. So flat back and then all the way down. Good. Now, hanging out here, hands come to the ground, step that left foot back behind you, or whichever foot you did not start with, And release your hands. You're in a high lunge again. Big breaths. Now, turn those back toes. Come all the way up. This is warrior one. These are movements that you'll get more used to as we go along these weeks because I'm going to keep revisiting them, okay? So you'll have time to practice. But just take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale. Back to that high lunge. So you flip those toes back, pressing into the balls of your feet. Breathing. Now we're going to come down, flip those toes, come down to your knee, and we're in a low lunge. We're going to release those hands. So we're stretching that back hip as well as that front inner thigh just a little bit. Breathing. And hands come back. Turn the toes under. Lift up. And step together. Hang out here in your forward fold. We're going to come to that flat back again. So flat back. All the way down. And then big inhale all the way up. Ground through the floor. Exhale to namaste. All right. Feeling a little loose in those hips. We're going to keep going, okay? So we're going to take a big inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Now, hands to the ground. Right leg again is going to come back behind you. You're going to come to your high lunge briefly, but then all the way up to your warrior one. So we're not wasting any time this time. We're just going right into it. So from your warrior one, you're going to turn your back toes out to the right side and open up to a warrior two. So we're going to stay in this pose for a second because we're going to talk about it. You'll see that my back toes are actually facing directly out to the side, but my front toes are directly forward. So they should be perpendicular with each other, okay? Your feet. And then my arms are one straight line, but I'm looking over my front hand, okay? My hand is over my knee, and that's where my gaze is. So once you find that, make sure your core is tight, shoulders are down and back, you're as deep into the pose as you can get. That's comfortable for you. Listen to your body. And we're going to take that front hand, turn the palm to the ceiling, and back bend over that leg. So this time it's more of a side stretch. You'll see my chest is proud and my head's to the sky. I'm not arching my back. I'm feeling a stretch. It's reverse warrior. Now we're going to make our way back to warrior two and keep going, resting that arm until you're forward folding. Now you can either stay here, or if you want a little more intense, you can actually slide that hand all the way down and get that nice deep warrior stretch. Breathing, holding, and make your way back to warrior two. We're going to now stretch your front leg, making sure you're not locking in the knee. You want to stay strong. Now you're going to reach over this hip bone without letting your booty stick out. Just reach. And tilt over once again, looking up at your top hand now. This is called triangle pose. You want to make sure that your body is not coming forward or too far back. You want to be in line with the rest of your legs. And back to warrior two, bend that front knee. And back to warrior one, come forward. Let's make our way to that high lunge. And step together, hands down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale all the way up. Exhale to namaste. So, we are doing sun salutations here. If you do yoga, this will look mighty familiar. If you don't, be patient with yourself. Just take your time, move slowly, and do the poses as they feel good to you, okay? So, we are switching sides now. I don't want my back to you, so I'm going to move, but you guys stay put, okay? I'm just going to move to this edge of the mat, okay? Because you'll see why in a second. So, we're going to take a big inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, all the way way down, hands to the floor. Now left leg is gonna come back behind you, okay? Let's make our way to that high lunge briefly, but then we're coming up to that warrior one and then to warrior two, okay? So this is why I had to switch sides, so I'm still facing you guys, okay? So this is warrior two. Shoulders are down and back. Get a little bit deeper. I'm just gonna spend a little time here, a couple breaths, so I want you to find that yoga breathing here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Big breaths. Now, flip that front palm and reach all the way back, reverse warrior. That back hand is on this leg, but make sure you're not pressing on the back of your knee. You're either lower or you're higher. Big breaths. And back to warrior two. Staying here briefly, but then we keep going and actually reach over that front leg. You can either stay here resting, or if you want to take it farther, slide that hand down, staying tall. Now, remember, keep in mind your feet. You don't want to lose the footing on this second side because we just didn't spend as much time setting it up. So you want to still make sure that those back toes are facing out and those front toes are facing side, right? Big breaths. And come back to warrior two, looking over that front hand. We're going to stretch the front leg, reach up and over, and then triangle pose with those stretched legs and that straight body, sliding down, breathing. And back to warrior two. Let's make our way to warrior one. Big breaths, high lunge, and then all the way to forward fold. We're gonna come up halfway, flat back, down all the way, big inhale, and exhale to namaste. Okay, I'm gonna make my way back to where I was. You guys stay put, still. Now, we're going to do one more variation of sun salutation, okay? This one is not gonna be a single leg exercise. So, we are going to take a big inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Now inhale, hands to the floor. You're gonna make your way to your tall plank position. So you can either step your feet back, or if you're a little more advanced, feel free to jump the feet back to a tall plank, whatever's comfortable, okay? Now, from here, we're gonna make our way down to the floor. So we're gonna bring our chest to the floor, but we're gonna do it slowly. So we're gonna bend our arms nice and slowly, lead with your chin, and then come up and through to your upward facing dog. So, my hands are down by my hips, my shoulders are away from my ears, we're breathing. We're gonna turn our back toes under, hike your hips to the floor, or to the sky, not to the floor, that doesn't make sense. And we're in a downward dog. So let's just stay in our downward dog for a couple breaths. And right from here, you're gonna look up at your hands. If you'd like to step your feet back to the front, that's fine. But we're gonna go for a jump if you are available, if you wanna give it a try, okay? So look up at your hands, bend your knees. Now try to jump and hop your feet back up to where they were, okay? Inhale, flat back. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, stand up. Exhale to namaste. All right, let's do that again. Big inhale. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, all the way down. Now, hands to the floor, jump or walk your feet, whichever one is your preference, but we're gonna jump it back to tall plank, chin, chest to the floor, make your way to your upward facing dog, turn the toes under, downward facing dog. All right, now, in downward facing dog, we're going to press one of your heels to the floor as the other toe lifts up, almost like a runner. Right? Now you're gonna switch, pressing that other heel to the floor. Let's do that a couple times. Big breaths. And switch. And switch. Now, you're going to lift your heels off the floor. You're going to bend your knees, but this time you're going to look up, shift your weight, and just put your knees on the floor. So we're on all fours. We're in tabletop position, okay? Now that we're in tabletop position, we can do some cat-cows. So we're going to stretch out our back to finish, okay? So, big inhale, head and tailbone come up to the sky. Exhale, the opposite. Curve that spine. Now we're going to synchronize it with our breath and do them at our own pace. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. And out. Last one. And exhale. Back to flat back, back to table. Now, right from here, you're going to roll to one side, sit, so you're facing forward. We're going to find a straddle pose on your mat. Now, only come as wide or as narrow as feels good. You don't want to strain anything in your knees, but you do want to ensure that you're getting a nice stretch. So, we're going to do a little mat stretching here. Just make sure your back is nice and straight, knees are to the sky, and this is where I want you to start kind of honing in on the breath and thinking about those meditative thoughts that we've had over the past couple weeks, okay? So, let's reach it up and over one of our toes. Now, I don't want you to collapse forward. I want you to stay tall, and if available, look up at your hand. Big inhales and exhales. Getting deeper and breathing. And take one final breath here. Now make your way to center. Big breaths. Let's switch sides. Up and over. Getting that side body stretch. Again, you'll see I'm not collapsing. I'm also not back bending. I'm right over that leg. And then I look up at my hand. Breathing, squeezing. If you can, turn that other hand up to the sky. Up, and here comes Mr. Sun. Just in time for Sun Salutation Sunday. I love it. All right, and release. Let's creep those hands in front of us. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Getting that inner thigh stretch. If you can only come to here, that's fine. I don't want you to round to get there. So sometimes we're just up here and we have a nice straight back. Again, what I don't want is this, right? So stay up tall and really get that deep stretch all through here. Walk it out. Even I can only get to about there comfortably, and then it just stops. And we don't want to round our back. Big breaths. Feeling those muscles relax as you exhale. So breathe in through the nose. Exhale. Relax those muscles. Now inhale, walk the hands up. And let's take the backs of our legs, pull them together, grab the soles of those feet. We're in a butterfly pose. And I want you to grab onto your ankles and pull your lower back, pull your pelvis towards your heels. Just a little bit. You're not actually moving anything, you're just creating tension. Okay? Now, hinge yourself over and feel that nice deep stretch. If you'd like to take your elbows into your shins, if that helps you, feel a little bit deeper of a stretch, that's fine, as long as your back is straight. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And up we go. All right, guys, let's make our way back to table. And turn those toes under. Let's find our downward dog again, right from table. Take some big deep breaths. And look up at your hands. Lift those heels. We're going to bend the knees, and you can either hop or walk your feet back to that forward fold. And we're folded. Inhale, flat back. Exhale all the way down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale back to namaste. All right, guys, we are going to finish off with some side stretches. So face the front. You can stay where you are. You're going to inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, look forward. Inhale, we're going to stretch it up and over to one side. And back to center, up and over to the other side. Back to center, and one more time each. And center, switch, and center. Now, soften your knees, bring your hands down to your heart, and just close your eyes. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your body up tall. Maybe you feel a little looser than you did when we started. I hope so. That's the goal. And we're going to take 5 breaths, just standing here, thanking our bodies for what they just did for us, and quieting our mind. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, make the belly rise. Exhale. 3 more breaths. And when you're done with your breaths, if your eyes are closed, keep them closed for a second. Now gently and lightly open your eyes. You're going to take one more inhale as you reach it down. Inhale all the way down. Exhale all the way to namaste. Thank you guys so much for stretching with me today. That is all for today. And again, we're just mixing it up, trying to keep things interesting for you. Today it was more like 20 minutes. Next week it might be 15, but it's always going to be kind of in that window. Okay, guys? Hope you liked this new video, and we will see you tomorrow for Movement Monday.